I'm going to ask you 3 questions, and each of you will have a chance to answer that question. Just as a reminder, these are 1-minute answers for each person. Given that we're going to just have 3, I'll start with Bruce, and then we'll move down the line to the first 3 of you, giving each of you 1 minute to answer that question. So, starting with Bruce, what is the role of the fiscal officer?
Well, the definition might be that as fiscal officer, you're responsible for attending the trustee meetings and workshops, keeping the official record of all proceedings, attendance, resolutions, and trustee votes, and maintaining an accurate statement of all money received and expended, certification of funds to the proper township accounts, as well as being trusted with countersigning authority. Audits are handled through the fiscal office, as well as the yearly budget and appropriations. The fiscal officer is the keeper of all records. Thus, records retention and compliance with the records retention schedule is also handled through the fiscal office. If you have a public information request, just let me know.
Mark, role of you as fiscal officer.
I didn't bring it written out. I saw it on the internet. It's basically a public service. And I'll be looking forward to working with the trustees, keeping records, all the things that are listed in the fiscal officer. I don't understand this position to be a decision-making position at all, as much as being a record keeper, being fiscally responsible to God, to decision-making. Thank you.
Carrie, for you, what is the role of fiscal officer for you?
Well, Mark, I fully agree with you. This is not a position where you can make any sort of decisions. So I can answer, I can go on the job skill, whole thing that you did. Basically, I see the role as exactly as Bruce described it. I also see it as being able to communicate with the community first and foremost. They are the ones, that's who I'm working for, and that's who's voting for me. So whatever you need, I am there for you. Also working with the trustees, being there in every meeting. As a language arts teacher, I know how to take minutes and keep track of them and write things the correct way so the community can fully understand them and make sure that everything is keeping track of and well done. Okay, that's what the fiscal officer is. It is a record keeper, it is a treasurer, it is not a decision maker. So that's my answer.
Christy, for you, role of the fiscal officer.
The fiscal officer, the buck stops here. I am responsible for every piece of documentation that goes to the state or the federal government if I'm elected. I put my name on all of the reports that are generated. So what am I? I'm the watchdog. I make sure that everything is done above board, legally and correctly. And I promise you, as I run my business, I will run Westchester financially responsible and making sure that everybody does what they're supposed to do in the correct format, in the correct way. If I have questions, I'll ask them. If I don't understand a choice, I'll ask why they made it. I can't make the decisions for the trustees, but I can make sure that our books are bound.
Okay. And Rochelle, for you, role of the fiscal officer.
I think we all know by now what the roles and responsibilities of the fiscal officer are. They're outlined in the Ohio Revised Code. But let me tell you what I'm going to do as fiscal officer. As an elected official, I have a platform, and I will utilize that platform to promote our conservative beliefs, our beliefs in limited government and free markets, our beliefs that we shouldn't spend what we don't have, and our beliefs that we should have less government space, less government waste, and lower taxes. So, yes, the roles of the fiscal officer are ministerial, but they are also requires a lot of accounting knowledge and education, which I have. The fiscal officer is the chief financial officer for the township, and I plan to use my education and experience to work for you.
Great, thank you. Mark, this question is going to go to you, and then we'll go down the line after that. Given the shadow that hangs over all of us with what will happen with the SB 5, the Collective Bargaining Reform Bill, whether it stays or goes, some of the members of the Tea Party group wanted to know, for each person, have you ever worked for, taken money from, or been endorsed by a union?
That's it, right?
That's it. Carrie, same question for you.
Oh, I'm glad you have the same sense of humor that I do. What is the question again?
Have you ever worked for a union, taken money from one, or been endorsed by a union?
I am a public school teacher, so that would be yes, I work for a union.
Oh, wait a minute.
All right, Mark, we'll get 30 seconds. You can be so
I'm
fast.
sorry. I did work for the Cincinnati Public School for about a year or two as an instructor assistant, but I don't know if that counts or not.
Under a union contract.
Yeah, okay.
Understood.
Okay, but I got it. I'm sorry about that.
Christy, same question. Do you ever work for or taken money from or been endorsed by a union?
No.
No, I have not.
No.
Rochelle?
No, I have not, but working at the city of Littleton, we have approximately 750 employees, over 600 of which were union employees. So I had the opportunity to work with the unions and develop professional relations with them. I know that unions are not going to go away. I have the experience to work and negotiate with unions, but I've never been a part of it.
Great, thank you. Carrie, this question will go to you.
But,
Oh, I'm sorry, Bruce. Skip you.
Yeah, thank you. Have I ever worked for, endorsed by, or what was the third category?
Taken money from. Work for, taken money from, been endorsed
Oh,
by.
no, that was a one-way street. They took money from me. Of course, this is not a right to work statement. For 17 years, they took money right out of my pocket before I could even see it, and I got little to nothing in return. This is not what the unions would represent. And I have some pretty strong feelings about unions, but that's for another question. And yes, I do have insight into the unions, and there's some stories I could tell you, but not now.
All right, now to Carrie. Given that this is obviously a position that no one's doing for pay or to be famous or probably a thankless job in many ways, why do you seek this position? Yeah, saw that.
Well, as I stated in my opening statement, I seek this position because I think that this community needs a young and energetic person to come to the table to work with the trustees. We need to get more young people involved. I also think that I have the skills to take, I'm a school teacher. I don't have a lot of money. I am fiscally responsible. So I know what it takes to work within these means and this time that we live in. So I really want to work for the community that I have grown up in.
Christy, why this position?
I decided to run for fiscal officer because Pat Williams decided to step down or retire, which she has obviously earned her right to do. I like to serve my community. I do a lot of volunteer work. I'm not afraid to speak my opinion. I'm not afraid to speak out for those that can't speak out. This is a position that doesn't get to make any decisions, but I can certainly talk to people. I can certainly work with people. And I can certainly help keep our community good. We're a good community. We are prospering, we're growing in these economic times. We need to make sure that that continues to happen. And I want to be a part of that. I want to make sure that Westchester, where I've decided to raise my kids, where I grew up, where my mom lives today, 8 doors up from me, that we become and stay and become even better.
Great, thank you. Rochelle, why this position?
I'm running for fiscal officer because I care about my community. My family's been involved in this Westchester community in Butler County for over a half a century, and I've seen through them their leadership and the outcomes that being involved in the community brings. I know that I have the education and the knowledge and experience and the training needed to run this office. A lot of people keep saying that it doesn't really, you just take minutes and you show up, but there's really a lot more to this office. Westchester Township has a budget of over $70 million. It's not small potatoes. it takes somebody with the education and knowledge to run this office, and I know that I have that, and I can bring it to the table and continue to make Westchester a place for families to grow and businesses to prosper.
It's Bruce, actually. You just get the microphone.
Thank you. Why do I want to be, and why am I deserving of being the next fiscal officer? Well, my father was in public service. He was a state rep, state senator for this district when I was a youngster. And prior to that, he served in World War II as a paratrooper. He jumped to the Rhine in the Battle of the Bulge. And I have some insight to the sacrifices people have made so that we can enjoy the lifestyle that we have. Later on, I pursued a degree in political science. I am particularly fond of Westchester because part of my childhood was here. In fact, as a child, I saw this building being built. In fact, my oldest brother Charlie was a graduate of the first graduating class of Lakota High School. He's the president of the graduating class. We have some roots here in Westchester. And also, because of my background, it lends itself so well, having so much experience in government administration and dealing with the red tape, there's not going to be a learning curve. And plus, I have that background in the private sector, such that I can take the practical experiences I have from that, and I'm the whole package. I'm looking forward to it. Thank you.
And Mark, why this position?
Well, as I stated earlier, I've always wanted to be in a public position, mostly because I don't have all this background. I've only been living in Westchester for about 5 years. And I like living here. I like raising my family here. I like my neighbors. And I want to be deeper involved in the community. And I prayed about it, asked the Lord about it, and I don't even know why I'm sitting here for sure, but I know God wanted me to do this. And I said, okay, Lord, I'm going to give it a try. There would be a learning curve, because most of my background in finance is presenting financial reports, keeping minutes, things like that, insurance. That's all I do. And I want to be part of it.